Hi everyone, today I've got a lovely model here, Rebekah. I'm going to do a pre-wedding makeup for her just to work out colors and stuff like that. So I'm going with a really earthy brownie taupe colors on her eyes and then go with a nice soft pink color on her lips. First thing, we're going to prep her skin. I used my Lancôme Genifique serum, just give her skin a really good hydration boost, give her luminosities, and also helps for the pimples as well. And for the spot treatment, I'm using the Dermalogica spot treatment on her chins and a little bit on her cheeks because she has quite a lot of breakout on her chins. And then I used Clarins Beauty Flash Balms as a primer, so I'm just putting that all over her skin. Next step is foundation. I'm using my Teint Mirac foundation from Lancôme and I mixed the two of the shade to get to the perfect shade to match Rebekah's skin, and I'm using my beauty blender really press it into her skin because beauty blender is damp, so it's adding a lot more moisture into the foundation and you get a really good dewy luminosity finish for the skin. And apparently this is the foundation Kate Middleton wore on her wedding night. So I think if it's good enough for her, it should be good enough for everyone else. Now adding concealer underneath her eyes and on her eyelids, I'm using my MAC Pro Long Wear Concealer. And this concealer doesn't crease and it is a long wearing, sorry, I was about to say foundation. It's a long wear concealer. So I'm just going to add that underneath her eyes on the lid, and also going to pat that on her forehead, chin, on the bridge of her nose, and a little bit on the cupid's bow, kind of use as like a highlight. I'm using my beauty blender to blend all the concealer onto her skin. Beauty blender, one side is pointed, so it's perfect for fitting into the inner corner of her eyes or around the nose. And when I'm doing foundation, I use the big round side to press all the foundation into the skin. To prevent creasing, I always set concealer and foundation with a little bit powder. So I'm using my Lancôme Teint Mirac loose powder to set the foundation. Just using a really big fluffy brush, I'm only putting a tiny little bit around her eyes where I applied concealer and then on the T-zone, just to keep the skin very kind of dewy luminosity finish. You don't want to put too much powder on top. I'm using a really basic Lancôme brow pencil to fill in her eyebrow. This brow pencil is actually really good. It's discontinued. It's the previous model. It's quite hard, so I don't actually deposit too much product onto her brow and making her brow look super dark. Let's move on to the eyes, and that's the most exciting part. I'm using color Naked, just using a big fluffy brush, blend that color into Rebekah's eye socket. And then I changed to MAC 217 brush, so it's not as fluffy as the other brush, which is from Sigma. I'm just using the Naked and then focus in the crease, deposit a little bit more that particular eyeshadow into the crease. Now I'm using another matte eyeshadow in this palette called Bug, just focusing her in her crease, so just add a little bit more definition. I'm just blending this color into her crease, still using my MAC 217 brush, just keep blending, define the crease a little bit more. Now I'm using this color called Sun all over her eyelids. This gives her eyelids a really nice shine. With my pencil brush 219 from MAC, I'm deposit But onto her lower lash line and then set it out with the color Naked. So just to make it a little bit smoky, but very natural and very light. Nothing too dark and dramatic. Now I'm going to pat this color called Cider onto her eyes because it has quite a lot of fallout and it has a lot of glitters in it. So I have wet my brush with my MAC Fix Plus and then just using a patting motions pat this eyeshadow onto her eyelids to prevent a lot of fallout on her cheeks. To darken the outer V color, I'm going to use this color Hustle in this palette. And then just focusing at the outer corner, outer V, I'm using a fluffy dome brush. It's kind of like a pencil brush shape, but a little bit more fluffier and not as pointed as the pencil brush. This is from Bobbi Brown. So I'm just using that brush to darken the outer V color. I'm making sure the outer V color is well blended and it doesn't have a obvious line between the darker color and in the lighter color. And then I decided to switch a lens. With my other lens, it's a fixed focal length, so I can't zoom in. I switched to a bigger lens from 18 to 200 mil lens. But for some reason, when I just take the lens out, it looks kind of blurry. I think it has some kind of fog things going on inside my lens. It did eventually go away, but in here you can see it's a little bit blurry. And also my camera stopped recording, so all you missed is I used a L'Oreal gel eyeliner, applied a black winged out liner on Rebekah's eyes, and then I applied a coat of mascara. Now I'm just using my Lancôme blush palette number 2 and applying some blush on her cheeks, and the highlighter comes in that kit as well. I'm just applying the highlighter. And I'm just adding this highlighter on her high points of her face, on the forehead, nose, on the tip of the nose, on top of the cheekbones, and a little bit on the cupid's bow. I'm also going to contour her face just to slim her jawline and then give it a little bit more definition. I'm using the Real Technique contour brush. This is such a nice contour brush, the best brush ever. I tried Sigma one. I tried a few other brands which is actually more expensive than the Real Technique one, but this is my favorite contour brush. I'm adding this a little bit under her jawline and blend it out onto her neck, and I'm also going to add this underneath her cheekbones. I don't really want to have a really defined contour look because we still wanted to get a natural kind of daytime appropriate look. So I'm not going very harsh, and I'm using the Lancôme number 17 blending brush. This is pretty much similar to the MAC 224 tapered blending brush. I'm going to deposit a tiny little bit this contour color on side of her nose and also underneath the tip of her nose, just to make her nose looks a little bit slimmer. To add a little bit extra oomph, I'm going to add tiny little bit highlighter from MAC Soft and Gentle on both of her cheekbones, on top of her cheekbones, and a little bit on the tip of the nose and on the bridge of the nose, and tiny little bit on the cupid's bow. And then I used a lip liner, a pink, kind of like a little bit cool tone pink color, lip liner onto her lips, follow up with a similar color lipstick from Lancôme, and then top up was a clear lip gloss from Lancôme Juicy Tube. And then so that's pretty much finished. Last but not least, I'm adding a pair of false lashes from Manicare. It's called Taylor. It's really natural looking, so it's not really long, and then the band is really thin, invisible band, so it's comfortable to wear for all day. And also applied a little bit Drama mascara at the bottom of the false eyelashes to mix her own natural lashes with the falsies together. So this is the finished look. I hope you guys like the look and enjoy watching this video. Please subscribe and follow me on my Facebook and Instagram. Thank you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.